All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a very special episode of The Capsule. We are going to be doing some little interviews with some of the judges from the world famous Just Taboo. I'm really excited to have the judges here in London. I'm here with the first judge, Masato. We're going to just be talking to all of them, get a little insight into them, their background, a little bit about the tour, if that's okay to share, and maybe some insight into the judging and, your experiences overall. Let's start obviously with you, and maybe if you could just start for people that maybe don't know you or do different styles, could you give a little bit of background about you, what you do?
Okay, so I'm Masato. I'm from I started back, yeah. I'm Masato from Osaka, Japan, and I dance locking, and I've been dancing for 22 years now. Yeah, pretty much it. Yeah.
Nice. And you started doing locking in Japan, or did you start like with a different style, or how did you get into that?
Yeah, in Japan, I started from locking, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that was your introduction to dance?
Yeah.
You were straight away locking?
Yeah.
How did you first find out about it?
Because I started dance on the street.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of my friends, and most of my friends were lockers. So that's why I chose locking, because at that time, there's not so much information like now. There's no YouTube, there's no internet. So I only had two choices, b-boy or locking. And locking, b-boy looks too difficult for me, and I chose locking. But after that, I found it difficult. Also, locking is also difficult. But yeah, that's why I started locking.
Okay, nice. And do you remember, like, when you first saw it? Like, what did you think about it?
I thought that was really, really cool, and I also love the funk music.
Okay.
So yeah. First time I saw locking, and I thought like this is good for me. So yeah, that's why I started locking.
Nice. And could you tell me a little bit about, like, first of all, I guess, like, because I've never been to Japan, I really want to come. This is like, I hope to come sometime in the next couple of years. Yeah. But I hear, a lot of stuff about hip hop culture in Japan, and it being like really big, and like, there's a lot of hip hop fashion, hip hop music, parties, stuff like this. So maybe could you tell me a little bit about how you see hip hop culture in Japan?
It's really hard to describe like simple way, but because Japan has a long history about street culture, and I think that's because of Japan has a military base everywhere, like American military base, and so I don't know the truth, but I heard that American army or military base bring the culture first, and then start like everybody started to know about the street culture, like a hip hop culture, and then so Japan has a long history, and not only for dance, also for the music or for fashion, like you said. So, yeah.
And also a difficult question, I think, but if you think of like hip hop culture at the beginning and like Black American culture, and then what I imagine Japanese culture to be like, it seems very different, the people and the culture.
Yes.
But there's something that links, or something that Japanese people like find in hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's really hard to. It's really hard question. But I don't know. But of course, everybody have a different personality, and some people try to adapt to Japanese environment, but some of them it's really hard to adapt. And I think for those kind of people, it's really good. For those people, hip hop culture is really good because we can express myself, even for dance, sing, like what else? Like So it seems like totally different, but of course there's a lot of different kind of people. So people like us, maybe I think I wanna express myself. So I think for those kind of people, it's really good for the hip hop culture. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it gives a way for people to express themselves if they have this type of personality.
Yeah.
So again, like I only have the understanding of Japan from afar.
Yeah.
But it seems also like there's a big culture of discipline and hard work and kind of we had Yasmin, B-girl Yasmin.
Yasmin,
she came on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
When she was in London, and she was saying that in Japan there's a kind of like mentality that comes from like martial arts and like how they approach learning arts basically. There's kind of like this structured way of like you learn from the master, then you play, then this type of thing. I forget the name of it. There was a Japanese name for this mentality. But do you feel like this is also a reason why there's so many good Japanese dancers? Because yes, you have the people like you that want to express themselves, but at the same time you have the discipline to really be good.
That's true.
Yeah,
I feel the same, and especially for the beginner, I think that kind of mindset is really important, because when I learn from the teacher, of course we need a discipline and we need to be more like focus on what we practice about. And so like she said, Japanese has that kind of Japanese people have that kind of mindset. So it's really good for learning something new. But after, like, for the beginner, it's okay. So that's why Japanese have a really good average. Like, level is average is really high. But so after that, because I was like, when I started dance, when I was beginner, it was really okay, because I have focus on practicing, and I feel improvement like every day. But at certain point, like, I feel like stuck, because after learn so many things, I have to find my way to dance, and I need to use my imagination or creativity. So for beginner, it's okay, but after that, maybe at some point, it's gonna be difficult. But like I said, like, average in Japan, really high, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean it's difficult specifically in Japan because of like it has the good base, but then maybe there's not as much support in. Okay, I'm good. I'm here. How do I go here?
Yeah.
It's like more in Japan than other places. You think that it's difficult?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because, for example, like, there's a good teacher here, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, not all the teacher, but some teacher, his student totally looks like him.
Yeah.
But level is really high.
Yes.
So, I saw that situation so many times in Japan. So that's why I feel like that, because during tour, I feel everybody have some people have no basics, but everybody still have really like creativity or originality. So in Japan, really level is high, but some people struggle to find them way to dance. But in Europe or in other country, most of them have a originality or creativity. So I feel that way.
Right, I see. So I guess it's like the perfect dancer would have everything. Some learning from Japan, some learning from USA, some learning from Europe, maybe combined together.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting that you said that about the different places, because now for people that don't know, we're recording this. Basically, I think UK is the last stop.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, I guess now you can kind of look back on the tour, but did you notice some things about different countries and the way that they do locking, or do you find something interesting about the different?
Yes, but I also travel a lot, and I how should I say, like I already know the difference between Japan and other countries.
Sure.
So yeah, so that's why I wasn't surprised that much, but I still feel like, if there's not so many team in the event, but there's everybody have a different flavor and everybody have different strengths. So for me, it's fun to watch. So yeah.
Was there some highlights, even if you already knew it was going to be highlights, but places that you said, oh, like the lockings here is strong?
Oh, for me, Japan, of course. Japan, of course, because there's a lot of lockers. And also Russia.
Oh, yeah?
Russia was really strong in locking. And not only for locking, and like a vibe was amazing. And also Italy, there's only like 8 teams, but all the team has a really strong character, and yeah. And also Rotterdam.
Oh yeah.
Rotterdam also, it was good. Yeah, but some country only like 2 teams or only 1 team, so it's kind of sad. But yeah.
Do you think first of all, in Japan, is the locking, there's as many lockers as there is every other style, or are there less lockers than?
What do you mean?
Like, because you said in some qualifiers there's just 2 teams or 4 teams, but Japan it's more lockers,
more
but
lockers.
Still less than the other styles?
Yeah, this year, yes.
Yeah.
But not every year like that.
Okay.
Yeah, some year, but still have a lot. Like this year, 30-something team.
Okay.
But other, like popping, house, I think 35 or 6, something like that. So not
too much.
Not too much, yeah.
Do you think there's some reason why there's less teams in the other places?
In other places, I don't know. I really don't know.
Just something,
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe we can ask the other way of like, what do you think is keeping Japan locking scene like strong?
I think that's a little bit related to a prior conversation. I think mindset, because in locking, when I was beginner, I do the same thing like 1,000 times. Japanese people or Asian dancer, maybe everybody can do that because everybody have discipline and keep focusing on what we practice. But I don't know for other culture. I don't know, because there's a lot of hip hop dancers, but there's no many lockers. So because the locking has a lot of how should I say, iconic movement, we have to practice so many times for only like 1 count, right? So I think it's kind of hard for the beginner, because I think for beginner it's not interesting. Yeah.
I see.
When they practice basic, I think everybody feels bored or yeah. So, but for hip hop, maybe everybody start from bouncing or something like that. I think everybody feels more fun or interested.
Yeah, like maybe in hip hop you can play more at the beginning,
Yeah,
and maybe in locking you have to be disciplined more at the beginning.
Yeah, if compare.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And I mean, again, maybe it's related to what we spoke about, but one thing, that we see a lot on the internet is like these Japanese kids that are so good.
Yeah.
You know, like we see some videos of like popping and we're like, I think this is better than some 25-year-olds we know. But is there, you know, how is the culture with like teaching kids the styles? Like, do they see it like, for example, in England, every kid is going to play football, you know, like soccer. Like they're going to, you know, go if in school, in the local club or something. But like if I said to like a 10-year-old about popping, he would say like, oh, I don't know what that is. But he knows football, he knows all the teams. So is it kind of like that in Japan where like all the kids understand about popping and locking and...
Yeah, I think so. Because, if I judge at the kids event, some kids ask me to take a picture together. So maybe, everybody understand who that is or what it is. So, I think everybody understand. Yeah.
And it's like, is the battle styles, are they like really in the culture? Like, you know, if you had a big event like Just Taboo in Japan or something, like, does the normal person on the street know what Just Taboo is? Or
I don't think so.
no, it's still a bit like underground.
Yeah, underground. Yeah.
Okay. But more like, because you have a lot of big dance studios and things like that, so people understand about dance teams and choreography more?
I think some dancer are famous in general, but not many. I think not many.
Really? But it's you know, is it still easy for a dancer to kind of make a living there?
Yeah. If you live in the big city like Tokyo, Osaka, it's easy. But if you live in the countryside, or the situation is going to be a little bit different.
Right.
So I live in Osaka, so for me it's not that difficult. And people who live in Tokyo, I think much easier than Osaka.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because there's a lot of job and so many people live in Tokyo. So people who live in like a big city, easy. Not that easy, but it's possible.
If you're good, maybe it's easier.
Yeah.
It's just harder, maybe more competition to be good.
Yeah.
But okay, so if we're talking back about the tour of Just Taboo, can you maybe share, you don't have to tell me who this was, but maybe to share some like feedback that you gave to some of the lockers on the tour. Like if they asked you, or if you had some feedback for them without telling me who it was. But like what are some things that, not mistakes, but you know what I mean, like things that people should work on or improve on?
Okay. It's kind of difficult because everybody have, like I said, everybody have a different like color. Everybody have different flavor. So it's kind of difficult for me to give some advice. But some people has really good move, like big move, like trick, like fancy move. But some people sometimes offbeat, like dance offbeat. So if that kind of person have has really good move and also have really good musicality, I think this dance is going to be really great. So I feel some people dance offbeat. So
Can you maybe, for people that don't understand, can you maybe explain what you mean when you say offbeat?
Just this is a beat, right? Just follow this beat. Some people, most of people who dance offbeat, they move faster than this timing. So just pay attention to this timing. Even when you do big move or when you do like tricky move, fancy move, it doesn't matter. Just stay on beat. I think that's most important thing, especially when you do something different. Because before, especially like, for example, before you do some big move, suddenly dance offbeat, everybody realize that, he's gonna do something different. So stay on beat all the time, especially right before you do something special. Because some people maybe thinking too much when they dance and suddenly, dance offbeat. So that time I always realize that, he's gonna do something different. So pay attention to the timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're not focusing on being on beat. They're focusing on what the move they're going to do that's big.
Yeah.
Right. I see. That's interesting, actually.
Yeah.
And do you, when you're judging, okay, this is like complicated, I think.
Yeah.
When you're judging, if somebody is offbeat, but the moves are amazing, is it like, how do you balance in your head? Do you say like, okay, the moves don't count kind of thing? Or like, imagine you have one person that's not big moves, nothing, it's just basic locking, but really on beat. And then one person off beat with big moves, fancy, good battle. How do you think about that?
Ooh, yeah. Like I said, this is a really difficult question. Okay, so if the people who has a big move dance slightly offbeat, it's okay. I, of course, maybe I bought the dancers, but if he dance really offbeat, it's hard to,
To vote for them.
yeah, so yeah, it depends on how much, how much you offbeat. Yeah. Of course it depends.
And are you in locking, like, again, for people that don't do locking, I'm sure the lockers would understand this, but, you had said that there's some really like iconic moves and like things that you kind of have to do and you have to get them right at the beginning, especially. So, when you said about, finding your identity or expression, like, where do you find that in locking?
Yeah, I think that's also difficult. Sometimes I feel difficult too, because locking has so many iconic moves, and if I do something different, but if I go far, everybody feels that's not locking. So I think it's kind of like have to care about the balance. So for me, I love to move. I love to use my body when I dance locking as well. So no, because when I started dance, I only use my arm and legs. But after that, I started dance popping just for fun. And that time, I realized that using my body, it really feels good. So after that, I tried to mix like body movement and locking together. So that helped me creating my way to dance. So I think, in my opinion, what you like to do or what you good at, I think these two is really important when it comes to making your way to dance. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like focus on those two things.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think this is good advice. And how has the tour been? You've been to how many countries this time?
10
countries.
10 countries, yeah.
Yeah, and it's you said before it's like it hasn't been too hectic. Like stressful business.
Stressful. Yeah.
It's been okay.
Now I learned a new word.
Hectic is like fast. A lot of things happening. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but the tour started from the cruise.
Yeah.
So I started from the cruise, and right after the cruise, there was Washington D.C. But between this cruise and the Washington D.C., I go back to Japan and I come back. I think this flight was too long.
Really?
Every flight was too long. So in December, it was a little bit tiring for me. But after that, like Japan, Russia, those like after come back to the tour again, tour is gonna be easier for me.
Because you're doing like one country to one country.
Short.
Yeah. Nice. And how has it been traveling with the other judges and with Bruce and everything? And just do you have time in between to like see the cities that you're in?
Yeah, I enjoy so much, and other judges are amazing people. So yeah, I enjoy the touring, and also during tour, so many countries I've never been before.
Oh, really?
Like Germany, Italy, and Romania also, Tunisia. Yeah. So,
London, you came before?
yeah, a long time ago, like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
For dance or?
For dance, yeah.
Yes.
But that time I only stayed only one night.
Oh,
Really
wow.
like short trip.
For a battle or?
No, workshop.
Oh, a workshop.
After Just Debut, I came to London for workshop, and then after moved to the Amsterdam for chilling, and then go back to Japan. So
Okay,
only
nice.
like one night. But yeah, so I think that's also amazing experience. Yeah, I can see a lot of new country, and I can meet a lot of new people, and yeah, so I love this experience.
That's so
far.
nice. Yeah. Did you manage to like do some sessions with dancers, or more just you want to sleep when you don't have to work?
Yeah. After work, I go back to hotel or go eat something local food. Yeah, most of the time I spend with other judges and Bruce and all the team. So yeah, like that. Yeah.
Nice. And do you have like so far on the tour, like your favorite place that you've been on the tour?
Ooh,
If you don't say Japan, somewhere else.
Japan. Yeah, except Japan. Yeah. Okay. Each city has really good, but I say I think Tunisia. Was really good because the culture is totally different from Japanese culture, but food was so good and people was really good, and I love the culture, and yeah, so I love Tunisia, and also which one? Yeah, but whole the European country, of course I love, but sometimes I don't know how to say. Culture is not that different.
I think the same thing.
Yeah, but Tunisia was
Really different.
really different, so
Yeah.
it was special for me.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. And just last question. If somebody that's listening is going to come to Japan and they want to experience the dance scene, like where do they start? Is there one place, okay, you go here, you're going to meet all the dancers, or like how do we start in the Japanese dance scene?
Ooh, that's also difficult because Japan has a lot of event and a lot of studio. But if you dance locking, and if you come to Osaka, maybe you should join Old School Night. Yeah, I think that's the biggest event in Osaka because the last time 2-on-2 battle, locking is a 250 team.
So 500 dancers.
500 dancers, so you can meet everybody.
Wow. Okay, so and it's all the, like you're going to meet all the people that are in the scene.
Yeah.
Like everybody's going to be there.
And I think there is not only Japanese, people from Korea, China, and so many Asian dancers get together. So I think that's a really good one. And also, if you go to Tokyo, there's a WDC, also the big event. And for lockers, I think for lockers is WDC is the biggest event. So yeah, that's also good one. So I think you should check these events.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Actually, I have one more question.
Yeah.
In Europe,
Yeah.
especially in the battle scene, I mean, we have some like, not serious, but we have some like, competition between the countries, like we want to beat France and Germany wants to beat France and, like because we're all competitive and...
Yeah.
But do you have the same in Asia, like Japan wants to beat Korea? Like if a Korean person comes to Japan to battle, is it like, oh yeah, let's battle hard or...
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. For me, nothing, but I don't know the other dancers. But when I started dance, like Osaka dancers hate Tokyo dancers.
Really?
I feel
Yeah.
I felt it. So I don't know the truth, but I feel like Osaka dancers don't like Tokyo and Tokyo dancers don't like Osaka. So I don't know, still going on or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I studied dance,
But like some rivalry.
Yeah, rivalry. Yeah.
True. Yeah, because I think even if it's not, it doesn't have to be I don't like you, but it's like, oh, I want to beat you,
Yeah.
like to show like Osaka's the best maybe, or
Yeah.
we have the same here. Like, Okay, cool. Yeah, but it was really nice to speak to you. Thank you for being here and taking the time. Looking forward to Just Taboo UK qualifiers, which will, when this comes out, will have already happened. So yeah, hope you have a great time in Paris at the finals.
Yes.
And finish the tour nice and get back to Japan.
Yes, thank
Cool,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. See you. Okay, so now we're here with Kwame from France, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Which you're the house judge for Just Taboo World Tour. Thanks for being here, first of all. I'm really happy to speak to you. Yeah, I was saying before, but I heard some very positive things about you. I messaged a friend and asked about you, and he was giving you a lot of compliments and saying,
it goes straight
really,
to the heart.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
was. He was really saying like some nice stuff. So, I'm interested to hear from your perspective, because I always find this interesting. You know, like because I'm not in the house scene, I don't do house, but I'm more in the hip hop scene. So I'm trying to kind of, you know, understand the landscape, and I think things are a bit different maybe in house. But can you maybe describe how you see yourself in the current like house scene, like your position, I guess?
I honestly don't really know.
Yeah.
I guess it's for people to find out,
Sure.
which would be my best answer. But I know that my stance is that I'm trying to be as rigorous and strict, doing the thing I want to do, and not do the things I don't want to do.
Sure.
And then I guess the rest is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So are you're kind of, I guess if you have to call it like your mission at the moment, is it to win all the battles? Is it to, I don't know, to share something specific with your art? Or is there like, do you have like a mission with your dance at the moment?
Well, no, winning battles has never been an actual mission per se. I like doing like games, and battling is a good game. So I really fell in love with it. But overall, my mission is revolving towards music and movement, and so it goes much deeper than just one format in particular, just like the battle format or whatever format.
Right, and because you make music as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like what type of thing? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a musician. I began producing maybe 10, 11-ish years ago. And now I'm a full-on pianist.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I make jazz music.
Amazing.
overall.
Like a part of a band or?
Yeah, so I have two bands. I have my own band, which is my trio or quintet, depending on the format. And then I also have Oswela, which is a band made of other dancer musicians. And overall, I'm doing Afro-descendant music, Caribbean infused music, because I grew up in Martinique. In
Oh,
Caribbean,
nice.
So
Great.
yeah.
And what type of are you playing in kind of like I don't know, like bar venues or like concerts, or like what type of places do you play?
It depends actually. It can be bar. It can. I also do festival such as Paradiso, Jazzavienne, other jazz festival in France. It really depends on the context, because like on the solo part, I also play. I can do live sets in club also. More for the electronic, like house or broken beat or whatever, or hip hop scene.
Oh, that's so cool.
And on the other side is the jazz thing going on.
Okay, so then this is for me is like two things that I don't do myself, but I have like a massive respect for, which is like house dance and like jazz music, because for me it's like the two things that it screams to me is like rhythm and like crazy complex rhythms. Like I know jazz is famous for like having all the time signatures and the different like patterns that you can do that are like all over the place. So for you, like how do you see the crossover, I guess? Like when you're dancing house, is there something that you're like, oh, because I'm a musician, I can understand things differently or better or whatever? And vice versa, like as a musician, when you're around other musicians, are you thinking like, oh, because I'm a dancer, I understand this type of rhythmic pattern differently, or I can be more creative or something?
Yeah, definitely. Overall, it made me realize that this border we have between music and dance is man-made, basically. Because most stuff most material, most language you learn when you dance, you also have to learn in music. When let's say in Martinique, we have a dance called belé, And if you want to learn about the dance, you need to learn about the music and vice versa.
In what's the crossover in a way, like the rhythmic patterns?
Well, yeah, it's the rhythmic patterns, the drum calls, because it's a conversation with you and the tambouiller and the person that plays the drum. You could make the same point for capoeira or sabar or other dances. So yeah, it's I don't know if it's much of a crossover, but more like over the years we made it look like a crossover, because I feel we lost this connection between musician and dancers. That I believe used to be one at one point, and over the years we kind of split both group, and now musician kind of stay with musician and dancers. But it's getting back together, I feel.
Yeah.
Now. But for a long time, it's like the material that musicians learn, dancers will feel like they don't have access to it, whereas really they can have access to it.
Sure. Right, and it's like, I guess there's a lot of things that I feel like there's a lot of stuff that musicians learn that dancers would benefit from. Like sometimes, the things that we would maybe teach in a dance class, even if it's a really basic level, is kind of music theory. Yeah. And it's like, I'm explaining to you how to like bounce on different tempos or whatever, but this like, the different counts or the different rhythm patterns, like this is all music theory, kind of.
Yeah, it comes from empirism. Is it a word in English? Empirism. Learning something from experience, basically.
Okay.
We found out the rules because they were here in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of discovering them. So even as dancers, we teach a lot with the sensorial approach, not to say that we have to count or whatever, but like you can feel and you can show better by feeling, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, the theory is a great tool that comes with it.
And I mean, I don't know what your opinion on this is, but I feel like sometimes for dancers, there's a bit of almost like rejection of theory. Like, no, I don't need to learn counts, or I don't need to learn this. Like, I can just feel it. And it's almost, I think I've heard people almost, what's the word? Like, romanticize. Like, no, if I learn theory, it kind of like almost takes the magic out. I just want to feel it. But in music, I feel like even with jazz, like some of the most like magical jazz musicians, I think, will speak about how much they understand all the technical. I'm sure there are jazz musicians that do it naturally, but it's very, I think understanding the theory of music is a big part of that. It's a bit more connected, would you say?
Well, what the goal is to feel it and understand. So some will go through theory because that's their main way of approaching life. Some will go through the sensorial approach, and I believe both work. But even you were talking about jazz, from what I understand, like theory came later on, like even Barry Harris, which is kind of one of the greatest to ever do it. He has like, he was kind of saying that theory kind of came in late. For
as a whole.
Yeah, it's people from outside of this cultural and ethnical and economical group per se that kind of saw that and, oh wow, that's cool, and let's try to transcribe basically this feeling into something that's maybe more digestible, understandable. But overall, like some of the greatest jazz musicians, they didn't have this thing like book and theory. They did because they were studying a lot of classical music or baroque or whatever, but the actual jazz theory as we know today, it kind of came in late. So to get back to your point, I don't believe you need to absolutely go through theory. What matters is to understand, and some need to understand through mathematical approach, some through sensorial. But yeah, I feel that maybe dancers are kind of, I don't think it's rejection much more as it fear maybe of the material, like us, because it's not a lot of people that are educated, I think, in this field, and maybe it's kind of a circle when if you don't have access to the human resources to show you that, you might not go into the material. But yeah, it's like I like both.
For sure, yeah. But I think there's so much that we can learn as dancers from musicians. Like sometimes, like if I'm trying to explain stuff to students, I would maybe send them YouTube videos of like drummers, and it's like for drummers it would be basic stuff, but I'm like, okay, this is essentially the tempo that we're trying to do, or the even just in terms of like which I think house does. It's part of house dance, and maybe this is maybe controversial, but like I think it happens less in other styles where it's like you have a kind of bass tempo or a bass like beat, and what a lot of house dancers do will play with the rhythms around it, you know, and they'll be playing in between the beats and creating all these rhythms where I think sometimes we can get into the habit, especially with like hip hop or pop-in, of like chasing the sounds that we hear as opposed to chasing the, even, you know, if I put on a song that was just doof, 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 you would play so much. Whereas I think some hip hop dancers would struggle to play in between. They just, oh, there's boom, there's boom, there's boom, you know? So I guess my question is like, A, what do you think of this thing? But also, is there some ways that we can like learn from musicians that you've found that transfer really easily to dance?
Yeah, so for the first question, I believe it's not so much a house dance thing. I think it's a contest thing, competition.
Ah, that's interesting.
There is an urge that I can understand for a younger generation, my generation included, to work with dance, to live with dance, and I think the main media for that is the competition, because that's where you get recognition, you can up your status, etc. And so there's an urge to win battles where it sometimes, and most of the time, is not representative of your actual level. So long story short, I believe like some people are connected more to win than to improve. And you can win a lot of battle without improving. So it can, maybe the battle is kind of a catalyst also for this type of energies. And for the second part of your question, I think that, what I did basically is I wanted to learn music. I wanted to learn more about movement through music, to be more precise. So I got into like just what everybody will do, go into tutorials, YouTube, etc. Then I had the chance to do 1 year of jazz music school.
Oh, nice.
And ever since then, that was like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, and ever since then I'm still learning. And so we kind of we developed with my brother Mackenzie, which is also a musician and a hip hop dancer, with a
Such
tool
a good
called
hip hop dancer.
Shout out Mackenzie.
Oh my God, he's just so good.
We developed a tool called Time Signature, which is a tool for dancers that want to understand or relearn movement and dance through a musical approach.
And is there, like, if you can give an example maybe of like, let's say you have a student now that's like, okay, whether it's house or any style, you know, but like, is there something that you're like, okay, there's this exercise that drummers do, go and learn this and it's going to help your dance. Is there anything like that you have as an example?
Yeah, I had like 2 different teachers that kind of had the same philosophy, piano teachers, about that, because it's an African descent dance, obviously, and music, so a lot of it is improvisation oriented and connection to the music. So one of the first advice I got, and I'm kind of spreading it also, is sing what you feel, sing what you dance.
Okay.
For example, if you play piano or saxophone, before actually getting into the mechanics, try to sing what you feel. And so for dance, it can be transposed as singing like before actually dancing, or instead of dancing actually. Because we tend to get into the mechanics first and then find a meaning. That's not really how we operate when we talk. We speak English French or English or whatever so good. Now we're not connected to what words we have, but what is it that we want to say. And I feel naturally that's how we operate. Of course, we have to drill mechanically, but eventually when you speak, you don't think of the words, you think of what you want to say.
That's really true.
And then the words naturally come up. So, the first basic stuff is sing what you dance.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, because it's so true that it's like, you know, I'm learning French as well. I'm not going to try now. But,
you can.
No, it's not good, man. Not for how long I've been learning. But like Clara taught me French a little bit.
Oh, cool.
And one thing that she told me early, which really helped me, like even, this was like 8 years ago or something, but she really told me this and it helped me a lot, is like, I would get stuck on trying to say everything perfectly. You know, I'm like, I lose like one vocabulary word in the middle, and I'm just like this. Like I keep beginning the sentence. I'm like, but I don't know that word. And she's like, say the same thing, but use different words. So like if I'm going to say like, I like your t-shirt. If I don't know how to say that, I can say, the thing you're wearing on your top is nice. And it's completely different words, but it's the same meaning. And she's like, just what do you want to say? Go around, go around, go around. And I think it's kind of the same what you're saying, where it's like, it's not that I'm sitting, like, this is kind of the problem. This is a different topic, but this is kind of the problem with Duolingo, you know, the app.
Yeah.
Because it's like you learn to win the game, but you don't learn to speak really. You just know, I know the word for tree. I know the
it's
word.
an incentive to get hooked on the thing.
And I think this is kind of sometimes maybe the dance approach where we're doing Duolingo. We're learning like a move. But then it's like when it comes to what do you want to say? You're like, I don't know. But I know how to do all the moves.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, I kind of agree with that. But if we're looking on long terms, I feel a lot of young dancers in our generation and older generation included, they wanted to go through dance maybe for reasons that today we would consider as kind of childish. Like some people would like want to dance to impress the girls or whatever. But eventually it's also the teacher's job to get people to, okay, you like that, that's nice. But if you want to get more into it, that's like, that's just the front of the boutique. And then you have to get into it and say, there is all this.
Yeah. I guess it's the similar, like, you know, you have a drum kit and then it's like the first thing everybody wants to do is just sit down and hit it.
Right.
And then you say, okay, you like that? That's fun. You did that 3 times and you had a good time. Okay, now let's learn some real...
get into it.
Some deeper stuff. Okay, that's interesting. So just going back now to the tour and like house and, you know, these type of things, like, what has your experience been? I'm sure you traveled a lot already, you know, with your dance, but now doing the tour and seeing like, in a way, the same competition or the same format in all these different countries. Is there some things you noticed either with like the level or the scene or the way people dance or anything that you can kind of talk about like, you know, maybe in Italy they like this or anything that stood out to you?
Well, overall, I think that people tend to not dance the same way all over the world, but to have a similar approach when it comes to contests, which is you have a short amount of time to represent yourself, to make a point and to be validated by judges. And I feel like maybe 10 years ago, like you could see like less similarities between countries, but now with videos traveling so fast, you kind of get the same. It sounds bad what I'm saying, but it's not. But it's normal. Like, people kind of use the same tools to get to a certain spot, which is winning. And I feel people are. I don't think a lot of people are dancing and are getting into the contest because they enjoy doing the competition. And that's not this tour in particular. That's I feel in our era right now.
You said they don't get into it because they enjoy the competition?
Well, for somebody that gets into the whatever competition today, there's the incentive is to live through dance and to make a living through dance. And competition is one aspect of it. And I feel some people are doing it the same way they will work at whatever big firm, to make a living.
It's just to get the results.
Right. But in terms of this tour in particular, what I'm impressed with that people are actually genuinely want to be a part of it. And I think it's kind of strong because I can see myself like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, seeing the Just the Boo videos and be like, I want to be part of it also.
When did you start? Like, what was your kind of intro to dance? I guess?
When I was basically when I knew how to walk.
Oh, okay.
Because my family were dancing.
Right. So you saw Just the Boo from like early.
Well, no, Just the Boo, I discovered maybe when I was 13, 14, something like that, through videos.
Right. Which year?
30, so that's 2010 or 11, something like that.
Oh, really? Wait, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
turned 30.
Oh wow, okay, so you're younger than I thought. for like just a boo judge, you know, it's good.
Yeah. Well, but it's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's why to be on the tour is a blessing, because
Wow.
I'm watching. I used to watch the video
Yeah.
and be like, oh wow, and to be even considered to judge it is like, it's a blessing. For
Oh,
real.
that's amazing. So do you, just going back to the thing you said about contests, you know, do you feel like do you feel like the contests are a bad thing? I know it's kind of a big label to put on it, but do you think it does, you know, this idea of like people are kind of just entering, which I do agree with. There are some people that enter just for the wins, just to get somewhere and then work or something, you know, which is also fine. But do you think it's kind of a bad thing for the dance or the culture, or do you think we need more of something?
Well, I don't think I have the solution.
Yeah.
What I see, it feels like there's an inflation of battles. It's like there is a lot and way more battles than there used to be. And so like inflation, where economic wise, the more there is a certain currency, the less it's valuable. So I think it's just like people want to represent themselves, and they want to stand by something, which is what they feel through the dance, and how much they can translate what they feel into what they move, basically. So I don't think it's a bad thing that there are battles. It's like a car. A car is not good or bad, but it's what you make of it. And I feel like there's a certain inertia that pushes people into entering into them. And maybe some people are like, no, I don't really. So what I would recommend is maybe to stay focused on what is it that you really like and want to do. Compromises are good. I would be hypocritical to say never compromise, but
Sure.
when in terms of what you want to do, is you're the only person that have your best interests at heart, and doing it just to try is fine. But I'm saying this because I had like many conversations with people that don't want to do it but feel like they have to. And I'm talking younger than me, my age, and also way older than me. So yeah, it's not a matter of stop doing contests. I personally feel if there were less contests, maybe people would be more focused on what it did. Like COVID kind of put that, on the spotlight. People are like, wait a minute, I'm doing this, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, like a chance to reflect a bit.
Yeah, and some people are really built for the battle,
Yeah.
which is amazing to see, and you feel it, and that's what you want to see when you watch a battle.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, there is just a matter of getting reconnected with what is that you like.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, actually. Yeah, I think also maybe if there was more other platforms, more options, I guess, because I think this is, I really feel like this is not for me, but I've met people that feel like they don't want to do battles, but they're like, what else am I going to do? I'm an amazing house dancer. I'm an amazing popper. I want to show that.
Right.
Even if it's not to win, I just want to show, where else do I show it? Like, I mean, you do have a bit more theatre these days, maybe, but it's more like you got to battle if you want to be seen, I guess. So I think maybe it's also like, what are the alternatives?
Right. Yeah. That's why it's like it would be hypocritical to say no, stop doing it, because I don't think it's the right solution. But there's kind of an in between to find. And today with social media, you can create your own format, which is kind of.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely, you could be known from anybody and be recognized just based on what is that you
Post.
That you
Yeah,
post,
it's true.
which is amazing. Yeah.
And I think also, I feel like this, again, maybe 10, 15 years ago when there was like less battles, but there were certain ones that like really meant something. You said about that when there's more, they mean less. But, I think anyway, hip hop and popping wise, you obviously Just a Boo, maybe Summer Dance, like SDK, like these ones that were like, oh, if you win these, it's really like you won the big stuff. But for me, this is where I really respect like Summer Dance, Just a Boo, like these competitions that even if there's a million battles, these ones still mean something above the others, You could have like all these wins, but if you win Summer Dance, if you win Just a Boo, it's like, okay, you must be good,
In people's eyes, it means a lot. Yeah.
This is a question I asked for Masato as well, and I'm going to ask Tahaya, is like, you don't have to obviously say who the people are that you said this to, but is there some feedback that you gave on the tour to some people, whether it's why they won, why they lost, general feedback that maybe you could share with us, that other people can learn from, of like things that maybe people were doing that they didn't realize they were doing, or things they could have done to improve that, you know, maybe we can share with some people at home?
Right, yeah. Overall, people tend to be on autopilot when they dance, which is switch and then do something, and then that's, well, I wouldn't portray this approach as being freestyle, because it's kind of reciting something. And I think the tour de force would be to, and what I encourage a lot of people to do is just take like silence moment, pauses, because some people dance, they don't listen to themselves, to what is it that they really feel. It's like you feel like you talk to like 20,000 people and you feel like you have to always put words and always have this verbal logorrhea, where if you take even like 2-3 seconds to just listen to yourself, then you can keep your composure better and actually say what you want to say. And second thing would be, don't hide yourself behind technique, because we tend to mistake technique with actual movement, but just technique is a tool and the dance is something else, I believe. And overall, people understand. But I think it's kind of a general bias we have when we have competition, because it's a competition. It's not just I'm explaining my point of view, you're explaining yours. It's whose point of view is going to win this exchange.
Yeah.
So I understand why there is a certain dynamic when you kind of have more pressure. And some people handle it really well, and some people want to handle it the same way, but are not built the same way. So it doesn't work the same.
Yeah.
So I've seen incredible dancers like entering ciphers, and oh wow, that's amazing. And then whenever they get into battle, it's like two different personalities. Like, what have you done?
So if I ask, like, for you yourself as a dancer, I mean, we spoke about this a little bit with Joel on one of the podcasts recently, something similar. But like, if you said about like, don't be on autopilot and kind of listen to what you want to say. If you're in a battle and you think, okay, like I have some moves or some things that I could do to really win, like easy in a way. It's not really what I want to do right now. I don't feel it. It's not natural, but I could do it and I could win. Or I could just see what happens, be free, and maybe I'm going to lose in the top 16 or something. Like, do you ever have this dilemma, or you always go with what you feel, or do you ever feel like, I need to do a little bit just to win this? Or how do you balance that in competition, I guess?
Today, I don't think I have what I have in me, the fact of trying to push something I don't want to push.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely I had occurrences when I was like, this could be a good idea. And I tried, and in people's eyes, it was a good idea. But for me, I was like, no.
It's not natural.
Yeah, but then it's different politics. At the end of the day, if I watch dance videos, I don't care who won, who lost. I want to relate to what the people, to whatever you say, right? So that's the difference between exposing a point and winning an argument, because I could win an argument being wrong, right? But if I expose just a point, it's like, okay, that's my point. You take it or leave it, basically, which is more of my politic. But it's a battle, so it's like, you can have this politic and lose in battles, but you have to be okay with it. A more pragmatical way would be like, you win at all costs, which is also, it's a competition, it's a contest. I mostly think about legacy, not in terms of how many battles you won, but like, what was your point? What is it that you live for, that you stand for? Which is personally, my politic is more leaning towards that. So yeah.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like, there's nothing I could add to agree more. Like, 100%. And I don't know, maybe it's like, like you said, certain people get into it for different reasons. For me, dance and battling and stuff, it was always about what the point you're trying to expose, as you said. And it's like, I mean, people that listen regularly to the podcast, I say this every 3 podcasts, I say this again. But it's this thing that like some of the most successful dancers that we have didn't win that much. Or
didn't do battle in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, if they have something. And for me, you know, I think like I started 2007, so like the first videos I saw was like 2006. This like Bruce's kind of generation with the people I was watching, you know. And for me, it's like if I look at all the best people of that generation, and maybe I'm being biased in my thinking, but I'm just like they're all different. If you think like Bruce, Salah, like even in, you know, in popping or whatever, like if you think hip hop like Niako, and then you have this, but this like Fabrice and blah blah. It's like they're all individual people that some of them won lots, some of them lost lots, but they all had a thing that they brought. And yeah, for me, this is what inspired me to start dancing. It's like, okay, I want to, you know, there's 8 amazing dancers. I want to be the 9th style.
Right,
you know,
right,
not
right.
like I want to dance like them or fit in.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
But I think, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily wrong, I guess, if people don't do that. But yeah.
It's a matter of what you're connected to. Some people, they want titles.
True.
And that's respectable.
Sure.
That's your, like, who would I be to say it's wrong for you to seek? No.
Yeah.
It's to each his own, right? And yeah, it depends on what you're connected to. Personally, I'd rather see somebody lose 10,000 times in contests, and maybe it's not the right format for them to shine.
Yeah.
But then I understand it's like this ambivalence between what you really want to express and what works for the public. So it's kind of you dealing with it.
Yeah. And I get, sorry.
No, go.
No, I guess also it's like if you're happy with you're at peace with your intention.
Right.
If you know I'm happy to lose every battle,
Right.
then you're not going to be upset if you go do top 16, do your best, lose, but you say, but I'm proud of this round.
And
You
that's
have
the
to
thing.
know what.
That's the thing. But at the same time, it's like, who goes into a battle thinking, yeah, I'm going to lose? It's like, it would be madness. If it was a battlefield, it would be straight madness.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we had like way more crews. So you were first part of a community of this group and then an individual. And now we represent ourselves, basically. We have less and less, which is kind of an ontological approach that's different.
Yeah.
That's way different.
It's like a different mentality.
Yeah, because like you're representing either your hood or your whatever you represent, right?
Yeah, it feels to me like before, like you said, I agree with like the crews or that everybody's representing like an area or a crew, and it was more like I might lose based on those 3 judges, but I want like my people back home or my crew to go, nah, you won that, or like you know, like you represented our style, even if that judge didn't vote for you, maybe. So maybe it's more this thing of like, yeah, the more important thing was to represent your background, I guess, than to win. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was like maybe 8, 7, between 5 and 10 years old when like this big era was here.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really tell, but from what when I speak to my OGs, when I speak with my OGs, they kind of say this thing, which is they were part of something bigger than themselves. And to kind of go at war in this setting in itself is already great. And if you win on top of that, it's even better, right?
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, I know for France, they used to be in different neighborhoods, like different area, and they couldn't get into the center of Paris to dance because before you had like the skinhead situation there.
Right.
Then we had like groups that eradicated this skinhead. They began to gather into the center of Paris, etc. So it's something different. But yeah, there's a group that you don't know, but you heard stuff about them. It's like, yeah, I get it, you know. Yeah. And like you're in your 15, 20 something. It's like, yeah, of course, I'm doing it. I'm signing for sure.
Nice. And just before we finish, do you have someone? Because we do this sometimes, we have a segment on the regular podcast called like One to Watch. And it's like, it doesn't have to be the best person in the world or whatever, but just someone that we each week kind of like recommend the audience to check out because we want to highlight that person. Do you have someone maybe in your vision that you're like, people at home, if they don't know this person, they need to go check him out or her out, and like, maybe you could explain what's so special about them to you?
In dance in general?
Whoever comes to your mind.
Well, I gotta take a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it can be multiple if you have some people, or like I had a Diablo on and he spoke about a crew that he thinks are like Scampia in the north of France. Like, he was like, go check them out, like what they're doing is dope. But yeah, if there's just someone that comes to your mind.
Well, I have few people in mind. Mackenzie, definitely. Clementine. Who else I can think? I'm thinking a lot of people in my generation, but like obviously other people before my generation. But wow, it's a tough one. I wish I prepared for that.
Sorry, just threw you on the spot. But is there someone maybe like, okay, that even if it's not like, you know, I don't want you to have to compare with other people, but somebody that you're just really feeling their dance at the moment, you're like, wow, just every time I watch them, they're special and something magical about them right now.
At this moment, again, it's a few.
Yeah.
If we're taking disconnected, like because I want to put Raza in the picture. Raza, whenever I see him dance, it sparks something, you know. Same for Founts, which is from the Sound of Wind. Good brother, man. Whenever I see him dance, it's like, wow, this.
Yeah.
It's like I feel enlightened, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a few people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way of describing like what those two, like what it is that's magic about them for you?
You know, when let's say you listen to a debate or you listen to somebody speak, and this person says something that like resonates with you, like, that's what I was feeling, but I couldn't put words on it. It's this type of thing that sparks in me.
Nice. Yeah. So it's like the way they express the dance is like, that's
like,
how I would express to that song on a different day or something.
It's like I'm really big on people being honest with themselves when they dance, and when somebody's truly honest and uses the technique to express something and not the opposite, it's like yeah, I love that. It's like
that's true. Yeah, I feel like that about Mackenzie actually. Like when I watch, there's like it's not only like honest and stuff, but it's like I feel when I watch him dance, like he's doing what he wants to do and nothing else. Like there's no compromise. I feel like
it makes sense.
Yeah, and but it works so well as well, and it's like
And that for me, it's these type of people are a message of hope. You can do a lot with little. And you can do also the opposite, but when you can say what you want to say in like 2-5 words, why would you use 1,000, right? And if you can do that in 5 words and it's elegant and that's it, people relate to that. It's like, wow.
And sometimes a big impact from that.
Yeah, because it comes from a place where it's not just a visual thing, it's a spiritual thing. A lot of us, we come from African household, and African household, dance is it's not just the dance per se, but it's dance for context. If somebody dies, if somebody's just born, you play certain music, so really depending on the ethnical group you're a part of. So when I see this type of people dance, it really brings back this. It's not just movement we're doing. It's something much bigger than that. And these people are vessels that are not here just for themselves. They have a mission and they have a message.
Yeah.
So whenever I bump into these people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really beautifully said, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully, anytime you're in London, you're welcome to come again on the podcast. We can have a 2-hour episode. But yeah, thank you so much for coming, and good luck for the finals as well.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, I'm here with our third and final judge for today, for this episode, people. A good friend of mine, a long time friend of mine, one of my early international friends, I would say. The artist formerly known as Monster Pop.
Exactly.
Now known as Higher.
Yes.
To friends and family known. Can we say your government name, or we're not allowed?
I don't mind. I mean, it's online.
Okay.
When you look for Higher, you see my full name.
Handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for being here.
Yo, thank you for having me.
I love you. I missed you.
Yes,
You're the best.
Likewise.
Honestly, if anyone listening at home, not only a fantastic dancer, one of the best people I know in my life. I told Ines before, I was like, the only thing keeping us from being like besties is that you don't live in this country.
Exactly.
I was like, if he lived here, I would be at his house every day.
is the Atlantic. That's kind of a big gap.
Also, for people that don't know, the founder and owner, CEO, big boss of Jote Festival, something that I have spoke about on every other episode, I feel like. Every time something about crowd comes up, Oh, what was the crowd like? Well, it wasn't like a joke.
Well, I'll give a major shout out also to Eliane Ross,
Yes.
to Ross, because she's the co-executive
Ross the
director.
boss.
Of course, I'm the founder. I started in 2014. She jumped in 2019. But
Yeah.
it wouldn't be where it's at without the support and her hard work and dedication.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and not only is she Ross the boss in
Yeah.
terms of organizing, she's a fucking incredible popper as well. So check her
She's
out.
solid. She's solid.
Also, you had actually appeared on the podcast before, but me and ATN,
No,
we had ATN on the pod, and me and him got a bit carried away, and then we said some stuff that meant he probably couldn't go out.
yeah. Well, I think it was more like no, actually, I think it's more about like questions about like dance, and there were certain questions I was like, I didn't feel comfortable, and also it was at a moment where I think I was just at a place where I couldn't see myself being out there so much. I was
Right,
like,
right.
what did I say yesterday?
And it was also like,
But it was a fun time.
it was a fun time, but it was the two worst. It was like if you were feeling like that, and then me and ATN were
yeah,
on
you
one
guys
that
were
day.
walling out. You guys were on
We
10.
did some crazy shit.
You guys were on 10 and I was on 1, and I was like, dang. Because also I get self-conscious. I'm like, there's a camera. Can I say
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I say what I think? Hold up. We got to edit this out.
Yeah, and ATN is the worst guy
And
to
he,
have
was,
in that.
and he was egging on for like the questions are like, yo, dude, what are you trying to
Yeah,
do?
yeah. So now we're gonna have a really civilized episode.
I don't mind. I can handle it now.
Okay, so all right, let's talk about popping. Let's talk about the tour. Let's talk
Yeah.
about Just to Do. So you obviously have had a lot of big wins
Yeah.
in your life. You won Summer Dance how many times?
I took it 3
17,
times. 3
18?
times.
No.
3 times. No, not 17. But I took it 3 times. And
Did you win Just to Boo, or you were in the finals?
No,
with Venom?
Juste Debout was this close.
Yeah.
2012, I still remember it. But we made a lot of noise. Like we pre-selection New York 2011.
Yeah.
Then after that, we got to Bercy by winning in Canada with Venom. I say we with Venom. In 2012, we lost against Pop and J and Crazy Kiro in the finals. 2013 semifinals, and 2014 also semifinals.
I mean, that's still a respectable.
Yeah, and it was, and like I said, it was super close. That
Like
final
all
in
good
2012, yeah.
And so, okay, let's go back at the beginning. I mean, me and you have spoken about this kind
Yeah.
of off camera, but like the Montreal dance scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? You said to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of it was inspired by Hitmaster Fish
Yeah, so
working with you guys.
I often talk about the triple Fs, and it's funny because I was in Rotterdam and I was chilling with Fish, and I told him I always tell the story of the triple Fs. So Montreal before before, let's say in the 90s it was more of a breaking scene. In the 80s there was a bit common like everywhere in the world, boogie boying, popping, breaking and everything. But in the 90s it was more of a breaking scene, and of course there was some hip hop, step also, step groups, and there was boogie boys. So pre-Triple F is a specific era. Pre that, it was more like a boogie boy scene, and Triple F is for Fond de Bueno Powell. So Fond de Bueno Powell was a person that was leading the scene in popping. I also talk about Frank Boogie. So Fond would bring Frank Boogie, and then through Dazzle. So Dazzle is one of our OGs, big bro. So Dazzle was also big bro to Fawn. It was like, yo, you need to, and he used to go to New York a lot, and he was going to New York for house, and he was taking also Jazzy's class, and he's like, yo, I met this dude called Fish, and Fish is incredible. He's from Gardena. Nah, you should bring him up, whatever. And then to Dazzle, Fish came to Montreal. And each of those triple Fs, I feel like played a specific part. Fawn is like, we were all boogie boys, or for my specific generation, which is me and Boom Beast, when we met with Fawn, it clashed a bit. Early on, we weren't necessarily getting along, but eventually we're like, yo, you have more information than we do, so, let's, pick it up from you, connect and pick it up from you. And then he would bring in Frank Boogie, so, star player in popping at that time, and very important person in the culture. But he was killing it and still kills it. You know what I mean? So highly respected, so he would bring him for workshops. And then Fish played an important part in the idea of that style that we see in Montreal that was very predominantly inspired by specifically LA and a bit of the Bay. Like, you know, we were a scene that could have went in a certain direction, but we decided to go in a direction that was really LA influenced, you know, very, very LA influenced.
What do you mean by that?
I'm speaking with layers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how can I address that? At that specific time, so 2005, popping generally across the world was approached from a specific approach or from a specific group that inspired all of us, but not a lot of places were, let's say, interested into hitting, bopping, animating, like the pop lockers, like really interested into other movers from LA and other traditions that were from LA. And we also were eyeing out the Bay a little bit, but that came a bit after. But so yeah, we went to that direction comparatively of the direction of the predominant group that was influencing the popping scene at that time. But it was a bit rare because there wasn't a lot of scenes or barely any scenes that were going in that direction. But we had Fish, he was our OG, and we just had to, you know, we just listened. You know, we're like, all right, cool, we'll go in that direction, let's go to that direction. And they actually work with us because, anyways, for myself and for Boom Beast specifically, but for myself, prior to that, I was a boogie boy, and also I was inspired by Mr. Animation, Mr. E, 90s Wiggles, Bop and Andre, like all this, like Domino, like I was inspired by that type of movement. And when I went under Fawn, then I had to let go of that because I had to learn a different format. And then with Fish, he was like, no, like what you were locked in on, it is what it is, but go deeper and figure it out, you know.
Can I just check your mic?
Yes.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, I'm just checking because I can.
Okay. Yeah. The mic is on.
Yeah, like, imagine you just, it's over there.
It's over. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, that's interesting. So obviously that's the kind of like how it came and how the basics of it. But what do you feel like makes Montreal so... I feel like Montreal's special. I'm a little bit biased because I fucking love Montreal, my city-in-law. But like, what do you think makes it so special, especially in terms of the dance? Because I feel like you have such creative, different artists. I mean, for me, especially in my generation when I was watching you guys before I knew any of you, obviously you and Venom, and then Green Tech is like, we can't not mention.
Of course.
And then even now you've got like J Style, you've got Baby Man, you've got Waldo, of course. Like there's so many, and they all look different, and there's some really good people. But then, like, for the level that Montreal has achieved worldwide, when I go there, it's like it's a small scene. It's not. It's like, you know, some people, it's like, okay, they've got, you know, this many good dancers, but they're 5% of the overall scene. It's like Montreal have like this many good dancers, and that's like 70% of the scene. It's like such a high percentage are good and unique. Like, what's the cocktail?
It's kind of hard for me to figure it out because I'm from there. So but I would think I know that historically Montreal was always deeply connected to Black American culture and even to Black American communities.
More so than other places in Canada?
I would say, because there's this spot called Little Burgundy.
Yes.
So Little Burgundy in Montreal used to have a lot of Black Americans coming up, right? And also groups, whether music groups would come up, but also there was a whole very strong Black community that was there, whether Black Canadians, but also Black Americans that would come through. So I would say there was always this link. There's a certain level of proximity. You know, it's a 6.5-hour drive to go to New York.
True.
Right? So when I think about that time, because I feel like there was somewhat of a revolution or something that changed early 2000 all the way to 2005, but we're always going down to New York. So going to New York, it's like you link up with Stretch. Going to New York for us is linking with Hitmaster Fish. going down to New York is Taryn Proctor coming through to Montreal, and then it's like, okay, you and you and you, you're going to be part of IHOW.
Yeah, and
So it's
whacking
like,
was a big...
whacking was a huge thing in Montreal 05, like one of the earlier cities. Of course, it was happening in the States, but I'm talking about like outside of the States, you know? So I think there was often that shot going and meet up with Shakalak. Of course, Hurricane and Firelock that were there too, like we're the same generation.
I mean, even J-Style now, he said he's going down to learn about like Brock Up and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he went to New York. I remember having a conversation with J-Style. I was like, yo, I don't know what to do. I was like, yo, dude, just go out there for half a year and immerse yourself in that. So that proximity, we always looked towards the Americans, you know, whether if it's New York or whether if it's in the West Coast, but we always look towards the Americans. I think there's that. I also think that there's also culturally all this Caribbean influence.
I was going to say.
The strong Caribbean influence. And a lot of Haitians. I'm gonna say it like that.
Yeah.
Right. So that, but also a lot of like Jamaicans too. Like there were some of the first two. So it's like
Similar with Toronto as well.
Yeah,
It's like that type of demographic that...
And I think culturally that also medges well with medges well or connects well with Black American culture. You know, coming from that type of background. And I also think it's like a melting pot of a Montrealer or somebody from Quebec, a Québécois, but specifically somebody from Montreal, has certain things that are French, but when you're in France, you realize that you're not French, right? But in North America, you're the Frenchest thing that there is. Yeah. But at the same time, we're so Americanized. And also there's like a big melting pot of different cultures because Montreal is also split in two parts. The back then, like way back, the eastern part was more French, and the western part from Saint Laurent is more English. Right. So all the like French immigrations, whether it's Caribbeans or Western African, and then same thing for the West End, you know. So all of that is a lot of melting pot of different cultures in one spot, close to the States, and living this like double, triple culture. You know, you're like, I'm Canadian, but within Canada, you're like, no, but I'm Québécois, but within Québécois, I'm a Montrealer, but also I feel French, but I don't feel represented, so I'm looking to the Black Americans. So I'm Americanized, like they are the people that I'm giving me the voice to express myself. It's a lot of mixes. And I think that creates maybe a perfect storm, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That just sparked so many thoughts in my head. Because, you know, if we think about, you know, like hip hop, especially at the time that it started, being obviously like a Black American dance, but also with like, you know, like Latinos or whoever else was kind of like around the origin points.
Yeah.
I imagine, or from what I understand of the origins of hip hop culture, it was a lot of like, like we often say this thing of like it was born out of like poverty and stuff like that. And I think maybe that does it a little bit of a disservice of like, it's not the only thing it was born out of. It was just like, just because they were poor. And it's like, what I think also is maybe there's an element of, this might be obvious, but an element of like finding a voice. Like if you're in kind of white America and you're a minority or you're Black American, or like the hip hop culture is centered around finding a voice and finding an identity, which you're not getting from the place that you're in because you're not feeling represented by the American flag or the people you're seeing on TV or whatever. And I wonder if that is what this is what you're saying made me think, is I wonder if that's what people connect with in other countries, is places where, like you said, a lot of what you describe of being, you know, from Montreal, and maybe even another layer of not just someone from Montreal, but like someone with Haitian descendants in Montreal is like, yeah, I'm French, but French people don't think I'm French. I'm Canadian, but Canadian people might look at me as I'm not.
Canadians are like, yo, but you Québécois, but then you Québécois, but the Québécois is like, yeah, but you're Haitian. I was like, well, first off, I definitely know I'm Haitian.
So, at least that's one.
That's one thing I know for a fact.
The Haitians are like, nah,
the Haitians are like,
you're
legit.
Sure. Well, I wonder if that's the thing that you're like everybody, but especially like there, you're connecting with is like we have a need to. Cement an identity, and that is what you get in hip hop, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. But I know for a fact that, like, you know, because I started moving because, well, my mother was doing dance, but my older brother and his crew were doing their thing. So that's like 30 years ago, right? So, but from what I remember in the 90s, you know, yeah, people were fully influenced by that Black American culture, representation, the movies, the music, even if sometimes there was language barrier, because now English is more universal. But me as a kid, I wasn't speaking English, and some people in my neighborhood were not speaking English quite well. Certain did, but certain didn't. So, but it was like the representation aspect of things. Like, okay, well, when I'm watching television from here, I don't see myself. When I watch television from this place, I see myself, and I like the coolness of it, or I feel like it's expressing my experience that I'm living, or I feel like it's representing me and it's giving me a voice. And automatically, I could see how everybody in my neighborhood gravitated around that. It was just a phenomenon that went all across. I could only speak for Montreal because that's where I grew up, but in Montreal, I could see how it was a phenomenon. And at my age, but even the same thing for the people that came before me. Like if I think of DKC, that's like 60 now. It's like that's further back, and for him it was the same thing. That connection with Montreal, like I said, goes way back. Like even in the 70s, even in the 60s, like it goes way back. Like Montreal and connecting to United States.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So, okay, if we talk about popping like on a world scale now.
Yeah.
Like, as we say, like I think a lot of it looks different, and I think you really explained well the like reasons why Montreal kind of looks the way it does. How do you feel? Obviously, you've traveled a lot with your dance anyway, but now you're doing the tour, and maybe like with the mix of like seeing the tour now and your experience previously traveling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a general question, but like, what are your thoughts on that popping on a global scale and like the way, I guess you've got a great perspective of like, okay, how North America does popping, how Europe does popping, how Asia does popping, and like, what are the differences? What are the things people are doing right, doing wrong? Like, how do you kind of see the global, like now that you kind of have that perspective?
Yeah. What I feel is that the technical aspect of the movement has been very developed. And it is for the case of participating in battles, right? Which was a different experience back then. It was more like about expression, exchanging, being in ciphers. And yes, of course, you did battles too.
Sure.
But I felt like the expertise has been pushed to the max. And it is inspiring. But my critique would be the lack of connection to the different possibilities and I'm going to take away the term popping. I'm going to put it to the side, and I'm going to use dances stemming from boogaloo culture. And I'm not talking about electro boogaloo, but I'm talking about stemming from early on as Oakland all the way till LA later on. But like all this Californian way, mechanical, hitting, funky, groovy, character-like way of moving, right? I felt like there is so many possibilities that comes from there, and I think those formats are not explored enough. Certain people do explore it, and I think there is a change that happened, but I just felt like there could be more exploration, or actually more interest into those different practices and the general idea of that culture. Right now, the focus is to make sure that you dance properly for 60 seconds and that it is impactful and that it helps you win around and it helps you convince the judges, help you convince the crowd, help you convince your opponent, and help you convince yourself that you look confident that, hey, this round, I got it, right? And saying that, I am also somewhat part of the problem because I also host a battle. So it is a question that I'm also questioning myself. I'm like, all right, cool. How do we make sure that it's not about this 60-second performance moment, right? And how do we go back to actually, I miss a moment where I would watch tapes and videos and where it was so, like in the same place, like I said, you could see like a mystery or Mr. Animation or Wiggles, and everybody is moving different. A bit like how Montreal has been, everybody's moving different, but still authentic to the traditional practice. It's not like you're doing something totally left. You know, you're like, oh, I'm doing a totally different style. No, it's like people are still within the grand scheme of this family of styles, but everybody is willing to have a conversation together, you know. And I'm from that cloth, and I'm from that era, and I still miss that. Maybe I'm too reminiscent of that, but that's the darker side of it. Let's say on the more positive side, I could see how the skill set definitely augmented itself tremendously compared to, like, let's say 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. People are just better.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like the NBA or something. You know, it's like you watch like Larry Bird's generation, and you're like, these guys will get smoked by LeBron. Like they were amazing then, but it's just like it's good to see this. You know, as things go on, it's so it's supposed to be in a way. It's like it progresses. But I 100% hear you. I mean, I have thoughts on that, but I will not say them. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So this is something I asked the other judges as well. Is there something that, you know, you don't have to say who it is, but like kind of feedback that you've given to people, either that have lost or won or whatever, but people that have asked you feedback on this tour, that maybe like you can share with people without saying who it was, that, you know, other people can learn from, like, because, you know, when this comes out, it's going to be just before the world finals. So it's like, what are things that people are like, maybe the same things that people are getting wrong in the battles?
Well, I think there's comments either I gave or comments I didn't have time to give. But this is what comes to mind. One, it's not because you do something different. And, you know, I feel like now we're in an era, it's like, oh, I do something different. Now I'm waving. Now I'm doing the robot. Now I'm animating. Yeah, but you still have to do it at a high level. So it's not because you do something per se different, which is just part of the big family of things. But it's not because you move, again, I put unquote differently, that automatically you have to pass. Like, yeah, I love different styles, but please be good at it. You know, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if it's just at a average level, for me, all right, cool. Yeah, that was cool. That's one thing.
And maybe I would add to that is like, that person may feel that they're doing something different relative to their scene.
Yeah.
But when you're talking to you or someone else like a Just Taboo judge who have seen it's like, like animation is different to maybe what people are doing where you live.
Yeah.
But in a world scene, you're seeing the best level animators across the planet. So you're still comparing it to other people that are doing animation.
Yeah, and I feel like in popping battles sometimes there's that. It's like, oh, well, I've done something different. It's like, yeah, you've done, and I don't like to use the word different. I can't find any other word, but that's the word.
Relatively different
to like the common thing that is being done in the competition, right? But it is not different because it's all part of the same family, you know. It is different things, different styles, but it's part of the grand family, you know. Like a bopper could be in the same cipher as the popper, as the tudder, as the waver, as the, you know what I mean? They could all have this because they dance on the same music.
Yeah.
They have this thing of impact, whether if it's a hit, a pop, a bop, a dime stop, a hard dime, a pose. Like the conversation is just different. For me, I just see it as different accents, you know, different places. But I digress. It's like, yeah, you have a different accent. You have a different style. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to pass. And sometimes you might not pass because you're just either not at a high level, or at an average level, or sometimes even at a beginner level at the thing, you know. Another thing for me is like, okay, cool, you could pop as hard as you want, but, you know, it's not because you pop hard and it feels like your body's about to explode that automatically you pass, you know. And sometimes there's that too, you know. It's like, or pass in a battle, you know. There's so many different elements, you know. There's dance ability, there's quality of movement, there's, you know, rhythm, there's understanding of the music. There's so much. You're battling someone, you're having a conversation, so sometimes that too. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, you pop hard, great. And
what else?
And, you know, it's like, you know, do you look comfortable when you're doing it? When you're popping hard? You know what I mean? Like, there's all of that.
Do you have the full picture of the dance, or are you just excelling at one?
Bam, bam, bam. It's like, cool, great. But it's like, there's more than just hitting hard or popping hard, you know? Another thing I would say, oh yeah, another thing too I would say is not to underestimate your opponent. You know, don't do that.
Like go easy.
Well, if you know you're stronger than the other person,
Yeah.
like I am judging you as if I don't know you. I judge people like I don't know them.
Yeah.
Even if you could be the biggest thing, it's like I don't know you now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what I see in front of me.
So that being said, it's like don't take it easy on the person, for the simple fact that like let's say you're like like I know I'm better than you, and the other person actually did a better round. I have to alt delete the fact that I don't know anybody. So I'm like, okay, A versus B. B did better. You won.
On a personal note, I think you're particularly good at this as a judge. Like, because I've seen you judge in a lot of different places, and like I've seen you make some decisions. This is, I mean, you're fucking, I love you anyway, but like this is one thing I love about you where, and I'm not going to name specific situations because we'll get messy, but I've seen you make...
Please, you don't want messy.
Save it for Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon is good.
I've seen you make decisions that are like controversial, or not controversial, but like there's a big name who tends to get the benefit of the doubt, and maybe someone that you don't know, but I've seen you, and I've just to vouch for that fact, I've seen you look at the 2 rounds, go, this guy's better. Even if this guy is famous, this guy's no one, and maybe all his fans are going to kill me in the comments or whatever. But
of course,
his round was better, and I know you've also told those people that that like. That's what that is. I'm not going to vote for you just because.
The round is, and for me, that's it. It's like the round is better, but it doesn't mean per se. For me, it's like that. And also, I judge things in the idea like this is the moment, and I just care about that specific moment.
Yeah.
Now, let's sit down and have a conversation. It's like, are you technically dancer A better than dancer B? Yes.
Yeah.
We go in a cipher. Dancer B might have you know what I mean, a hard time. But in that specific moment, I am judging you for this moment. And sometimes people take it for granted. It's like, okay, cool, I'm so-and-so. It's like, I don't care who you are. Like, you gotta go. And I'm not saying that you have to battle hard and go full throttle, but I can sense when somebody is just like, or anyways, like, I dance better than you. He's like, yo, don't do that. Because if the person dances better than you, I am not voting for you, sadly.
Yeah. And I think there's sometimes this dynamic which is a bit dangerous for people with a big name in that they get complacent because they're so famous, but what they maybe forget is that everyone in that room who's not you is coming for your head. So it's like, as much as you're going, oh yeah, I'm pretty good and I can do this and it's pretty good, that other person is going, you know, it might be the top 16, but they're like, I mean, who's good? Like Nelson. It's like, I'm battling Nelson. I need to pull out the best round I've ever put.
Of course.
Everyone that you battle is going, if you're Nelson, if you're you,
Yeah.
if you're Bruce, everyone you ever come up against is going, this is going to be the hardest battle of my life. And you in that moment that you go, they got you. And it's tough.
And you see, you just said Nelson, but you see Nelson, he doesn't take it lightly.
No, exactly. That's
Nelson, he's like, yo, whether you're brand new, you've been there for the longest time.
Smoked.
He's like, hey, yo, full throttle. So whatever happens. He wins, he loses like everybody else, but whatever happens, but he goes full throttle. You know? And I think that's what it is. And going full throttle is not a question of speed. It's not dynamics. It's just like, are you engaged? Do I feel like, okay, I'm here? Because I've seen some of that. And I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, you lost. Like, you know? And I would rather, even for me, like, let's say if I were to battle again, I don't think I'm in a place where I would want to do that, but let's say I were to be in that, I would rather like somebody to be real with me and when I win, then I truly win. Because it did happen at times that I felt like, nah, that one I was supposed to win. You know what I mean? But vice versa, there's times where I lost. I was like, nah, I fully lost. I lost that one.
Yeah.
There's battles I can think, I'm like, yeah, I lost that one.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Good job.
Yeah. Did you ever have a time when you won, but you didn't feel like you won?
I always
like
tell,
a specific battle.
I always tell that story. Well, because somebody else asked me that question. And I brought back this story just randomly. I think it was in 2013. Either 2013. And it was for Under Pressure. There was the studio called the New Dance Division on Mont Royal and Saint Laurent. And I think it was top 4. And the finals were about to be done at Under Pressure outside, which is downtown.
Yeah.
And I'm battling Abnormal, Madini now. and I'm battling him, and I'm throwing everything, and I'm the first one to go. I felt confident, and I'm like, yo, bro, I got bars. Blah, 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 blah. I'm doing everything. And then he answers. I'm like, whoa. It's like, damn. The way he answers, it's like, damn, he beat that round. So we go a second round, and then in that second round, I out-edged him a little bit. But he clearly beat me in the first round. So I told the judge, like, yo, sorry, I don't feel comfortable. He beat me. So I gave him the spot. I was like, yo, you go.
Oh, the judge voted for you and you said, like, nah.
Yeah, I couldn't.
The first round was a tie, or
It was a tie.
Ah, okay.
But I know I lost that round. And then we went another round, and it didn't sit well.
Like,
with
I'm
me.
not taking this win because it shouldn't have
Yeah,
been
it didn't sit well. Because I know I lost. I knew I lost.
That's very respectable.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have just took the win.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, and at the same time, I knew what was going on. It was like a dynamic of like who I am and in the scene. And Jean was like,
Right.
nah, no, the dude beat me, guys. It's okay. I can lose.
Yeah. Just give it to him.
You just give it to him, you know. After that, if we had a conversation for 45 minutes, again, that's the other thing. It's like winning a competition does not equate that somebody is the ultimate best or vice versa. It's like sometimes I think we put that as a barometer, but it's like that's just a moment. And then really having a conversation with someone in dance, that's something that you do in the ciphers, you know.
Yeah, I hear it. Just before we wrap up, we are going to move over to Patreon, whichever camera I'm on. Guys, the Capsule has started a Patreon. We have bonus episodes there every week. My good friend Haya has kindly said he would stay and talk some shit with me on there. But before we move to Patreon, just the last thing, because I think I might have brought this up on one of the other episodes, but it's one of my favorite stories of dance ever was the like Euro Battle you and Jadawi thing. So I just wanted to shout that out, and like I don't know if you want to offer some insight in it, but just to tell my perspective, it's like, first of all, I always talk about this. People are sick of me talking about this, but like when I met you we met in Vegas for the HHI
2009.
Wow. But we didn't really meet. We just like we were in the same room in the competition, whatever. And then the next year we went to Euro Battle.
2010,
Yeah, and you were there with Scramble Lock.
With Scramble, yeah.
And I think you came over, we were in the foyer bit, and you were like, yo, what are you guys in Vegas? It was me, Lee, and Mus, I think. And what are you guys in Vegas? And I was like, oh yeah. And then we just hung. I don't think I remember seeing you the year before Pop even. So you were just like a nice guy. And I was like, oh cool, hang out, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even see your prelim at Euro Battle.
Yeah.
And then we're all sitting in the, in the thing. So we all did like, I thought you were like one of us, like a beginner. This is our first trip out of the country. I was like, oh, we met this nice guy, blah, blah, blah. So we're hanging, and then they're reading out who got through, and it's like, and then they say your name, and we're like, you passed through the prelims. And he's like, okay, cool. And we're like so excited for you, but you're like, oh, cool. And then it's like, oh, first round Jadawi. And we're like, oh, sorry, bro. Like, like, oh man, you had a good.
You're gonna have a hard time.
Thinking like, oh man, like he's gonna get his head kicked in. And then so you go up and battle. I don't know who goes first or whatever, but we see you start dancing. We're like, what the fuck is good? What the fuck?
It went to a tiebreaker.
I remember.
And
at this time, for anyone, I'm a Jadawi fanboy, but like
he was in a prime.
This was peak Jadawi. He was the man at this point. And then you took it. And like it's like a fucking tie against Jadawi. Anyway, so then I was like, oh okay, this guy's actually good, and we just didn't know. I'd never seen you dance before. And then then you guys, it was quite heated, and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? And then we go to the after party, and the after party Euro Battle used to be like solid. It starts at like, you went as well, like she's Portuguese, Papa. So she's a Euro Battle hometown thing. But like it was like what 9-10 p.m. and then until like 4-6 in the morning, whatever. I remember coming out and it was light. But I remember this year, it's like there's a cipher. Who was? You came in.
I came in.
He was already there
because it was heated.
Yes.
And it's it's just like I'm younger. Look, I'm younger.
Of course, yeah. This was.
I mean, like
16 years ago.
Yeah. I'm young. So at that time, I used to battle heavy, but also I had the skills to back it up. But for me, it's just like I was in that type of energy. I really wanted people to see Montreal, And I was always in the idea of like giving alley-oop to Montreal. So it's like, if I'm here, I stand for everybody that's in Montreal and everybody that gave me a shot, everybody that supported me, for my rivals, for everybody. I often had this very patriotic thing about the city. So that's why I was battling like with this very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but heavy energy. Because it's not like I was attacking people, but you felt like, okay, you really want to battle, right?
Yeah.
So, and then when I lost that, like I didn't feel the same way. But I'm not here to challenge the judgment. I just didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, at that time you were like,
I was like, nah. But that's how I felt.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then,
So maybe you can walk us through from your perspective.
Yeah.
So the battle happens, it's heated.
yeah.
And then, tell me.
Yeah, because we're battling and he's doing things and he's like, oh yeah, I think we were just talking and he was doing lines, but I could do lines. We're both talking smack. But it was good. It was good. And then Ty, I'm like, damn. And then same thing. And then I lost. And then I was like, yo, dude, at the after party, we're gonna battle. I'm gonna call you out. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Because I think he thought it was like just like, yeah, whatever. You don't really mean it, but yeah, whatever, cool. And I was locked in. I was like, yo, Scram, I'm going to call this dude out. I don't care. And then, indeed, I arrived at the party, and I remembered he was with all his clique from Lille.
This is also something to mention. Like, in those days, I remember, like, the Lille guys used to roll, like, a ton of them.
Yeah. And for me, I was like, I was very, for me, it was giving me a drive, that type of energy. So everything that's a bit like, you know, grimy a bit, like, so their energy was actually boosting me up. I was like, all right, cool guys, I'm here, you know what I mean, type of thing. So at that time when I was younger, and it just so happened that we battled for an hour straight.
Bro,
it was an hour straight. We were talking smack, and the beauty of this is that there's a high level of respect for each other that was created in that moment. Me, after that, I was like, yo, bro, like, because I really battled, and I was like, yo, bro, like, okay, cool, you're about that, and he was like, yo, bro, likewise, you're about that. I didn't know you guys threw down like that in Canada.
Sick.
And there was a high level of respect right after.
Yeah, I remember people were standing on tables because it was like the cipher got like tight.
Yeah.
Like we was like on chairs, like people were people were hanging over the barriers to watch, like, and it really was like an hour.
Yeah,
like,
it was a good
long,
hour, a good hour, bam, bam, bam. Through everything, you know, like, lines, tuts, wave, ground moves. Like, we were at a certain place, like, we were just looking for stuff, you know. And I think it's one of my top battles, like top 3 battles that I've done in my life.
Yeah.
Like straight like that, and then after that you dap it up. Like at first it's heated. We're talking badly to each other. We're really disrespectful to each other. To the end, like dapping it up.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, dude, like, you the real deal. He's like, yo, you too.
And then you ended up being boys, and like you battled together, with Bruce as well.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I'm so like, I don't know. This is kind of one of my like evidences of this stuff of like battles before YouTube or like outside of the competition circuit of like, I don't know if it still happens moments like that. I mean, I'm sure it does.
I think the reason why it might not happen as often or might not happen is because now we have the phone. And I think people don't want to take the risk because automatically there's a phone that's going to be pulled out, and then that's going to be right online. There's a live that's going to be done, and I think
if that was now, people would have gone. I would have gone live.
You know what I mean? Automatically, because it was so heated.
Yeah.
But at that time, we had the privacy of, all right, let's go there. You know,
Yeah.
The privacy of like, let's talk smack to each other. You know, like, now you're not self-aware. Like if I were in this, I mean, I wouldn't act that way. I was younger, but let's say my younger self today, I would be self-aware. I was like, oh, I can't just be like that because there's cameras everywhere. I can't just, and vice versa for him. You know? And it gave us that space to resolve something. Like we really were not messing with each other early on. It's such a beautiful full circle. Like at the end of that hour, dapping up, like, yo, dude, you're solid. He's like, yo, nah, yo, dude, you're solid. I didn't know Canada was, all right, cool. And then the guy from Lille, like, all his boys were like, yo, bro, you're solid, yo.
Sick.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, especially, and then you create a good bond after that. Yeah. Okay, sick. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I fucking love that story. And I'm so fucking, like, thankful that I was there to see it live and, like, I knew you both. And also for me, like to see that I had met you in the day, but not really knowing either of you. And now I'm good friends with both of you,
Yeah.
which is so nice for me as well to like have witnessed that. And then for me to build a friendship with you guys. So yeah, well, thank you for this chat. We're going to go over to Patreon and talk some shit. And you can tell me how you really feel about Jerome. But yeah, no, we're going to go Patreon. So guys, the link will be in the description of this video, in the link in our bio. If you want to join us on Patreon, there's a bonus episode every week. It'll be something different, maybe special guests, maybe the regular crew, maybe some BTS content. But yeah, it just helps us keep the lights on, keep things moving. So yeah, appreciate you. And also to you, Haya, thank you for being here. Good luck with the Just Taboo finals. I'm sure it's going to be fucking amazing.
It's gonna be great.
And yeah, shout out to you, the whole Just Taboo organization, the other judges.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, because you know you're doing this. You have this platform. Shout out to you. I know you work hard, so a big shout out to you.
Thank you.
And you move around with your platform. You were also at Jolt with your platform.
Of course.
So thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Catch you guys over on Patreon.
Yes.
Peace.